I don't understand this need to go back and relabel classic things in an inappropriate way in terms of this thing is now possibly offensive to the modern era. I don't understand that because some of these things are purely unoffensive. Like
Yeah.
this right here, they just did this today in the UK. They've put an adult rating on Mary freaking Poppins because of racism.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't understand this. I don't
What
understand this.
what
Go
what
ahead.
in what in it is racist? Him having black powder on his face from
I
being a
don't
chimney
know.
sweep?
I don't know. We're gonna get into it. I
Pimples?
haven't actually had a chance to read it because I just found it a little while before the show. So let's get into. I mean, this is a Julie Andrews classic and Dick Van Dyke classic with songs that have been part of not just pop culture but culture forever. Mary Poppins is a cultural icon, and it's just retarded. So
It's
let's look at this. The age rating on the 1964 Mary Poppins has been increased in the UK due to discriminatory language. The far left Variety reported on Monday. Let's zoom in a little bit more so I can read it on the second screen. Okay. On Friday, British Board of Film Classification, the BBFC. Why does everything have a BB in British or acronyms? Do they ever,
yeah.
are they that obsessed with big and black? I don't know. I don't know. The BBFC upped the Disney movie cinema rating from U, meaning it contained no material likely to offend or harm, to PG. The report continued. There is nothing offensive in Mary Poppins. It is one of the most wholesome movies of stories of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, like I said, I can't think of a single thing. Like I said, I don't think there's any black characters in it, so it can't be something against black people. No Asian people, I don't think. It's I mean, the only thing you could say is that it's very white, but look at the
Yeah.
time
Well,
it's supposed to
hey,
be.
hey, hey, to them, hey, the actual racists are racist against white people. So there's a joke here. Let's go straight to this. Here's the real reason, which is even dumber than the fabricated one. There's a point in the movie where someone uses the term Hottentots, which no one knew was racist until what? Apparently, Hottentot is racially insensitive term for Kokeko. Did I say that right? Kokoho, an indigenous group in South Africa. Sometime during the movie, the word is used in the film by Admiral Boom, Reginald Owen, including when referring to the chimney sweeps whose faces are covered in soot. Well, you were right, Devil. It is concerning the semi-blackface of Dick Van Dyke. We understand from our racism and discrimination research and recent classification guidelines research that a key concern for people, parents in particular, is potential to expose children to discriminatory language or behavior which they may find distressing or repeat without realizing the potential offense. The BBFC continued. Some language behaviors are therefore not permitted at U or PG in any circumstance or wholly dependent on context. So because some dude says Hottentot, that's I guess, what is that? An equivalent of jungle monkey? I don't know. I mean, this is
No,
some serious old timey racism that I have never heard of. This is ridiculous, man.
I don't
It's
get it. This is
I don't,
weird.
it's how this is. I'm baffled by this. I hadn't fully read this article to now. I said, okay, we can talk about this tonight. This is why we have to gatekeep. That's where I want to go with this. This is why we have to gatekeep everything and not let these assholes dictate what is this and what is that. Because if they're going to say Mary Poppins is offensive, then what isn't offensive if they consider Mary Poppins to have discriminatory language in it? My God, I don't, I don't want to play this game anymore.
Me neither.
I'm
Jesus. I don't I they're gonna do this to every single thing till there's not a single thing in this world that they don't have on a list, right?
Mhm.
This is offensive, this is offensive, that's offensive, seriously, it doesn't matter what we do. And then when they're done with that, they're gonna start going over the stuff that they've created and saying where they found offense now. They're gonna be like, "Yeah, a year ago, this was completely okay with our way of thinking, but
Yeah.
now we find offense with what we've created 'cause we're fucking retarded." That's what it's gonna
Some
be.
some random 0.3% minority in this corner of the world is now offended by the word "jickenback," whatever the hell that I just made that up. I don't know. But they'll find some ancient possible slur and say that this minute minority is offended. And then suddenly we have to virtue signal. And you're right. They will just continue to make these lists bigger. Well, that is the true commie fascism. Making lists, saying what's appropriate, telling you what you can watch and what you can't watch. I mean, I go back to it. Mary Poppins, that was when I was a kid, I used to watch this all the time.
Yeah,
All the time. I had I didn't have a VHS of it. I just rented it or was on Disney Channel all the time back then. But I did have those old little cassettes that were basically the entire movie in 20 minutes with snippets of the songs. Excuse me. And I had one of those. And I used to listen to that before I went to bed. It was on the rotation of things I would fall asleep to as a kid.
yeah,
God, God damn. This is a movie about family, about love, about learning to love and not being cold-hearted and not ignoring the important things in life, your family, your friends, uh,
yeah.
beauty. And they're going to now
Oh,
try
sorry,
and
phone went off.
no problem, no problem. And they're going to try and now keep this away from the children this is a movie children should watch
Yes.
to learn something.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's wholesome. It goes against classism, the fact that
Mhm,
you have the rich and the poor, and the kids learn the lesson that you shouldn't, judge people on how much money they make or
mhm.
stuff like that. Hell, for them, it's all happy because it's anti-capitalist. I mean, they should love that shit. Um, but yeah, somehow, like I said, it doesn't matter if it has a good thing. It doesn't matter if it preaches the stuff that they tout as all that matters is that they can find one little thing and say, "This is what we defer from that. This is what
Mhm.
we see, and we're just gonna go with that. We're not gonna take context or something." The guy who they said it is an old British war dude from, at that time, this was what, the 50s or 60s?
This is 64. It was made in 64.
64. So 60, it came out in 60. It's supposed to be where I think it's supposed to be based in a later earlier time, right? Like the 20s or something or
Yeah, it's about
30s?
I think it's pre-World War One, that's pre-war II. I think it's definitely
Yeah.
pre-World War II. It's been a long
So
time since I
so
watched it.
yeah, it's actually set earlier than that. Then on top of it, he's an old Navy vet, so he's probably back in the 1800s at that point where he was doing his thing, being a captain, and he happens to use a word that is, just a maybe not as appropriate today as it was then. And we're supposed to fucking lose our mind, cry, fucking have a goddamn
Yeah,
wham session because the context is you don't want to consider that.
yeah.
You don't want to take that into, account. It's so stupid.
I mean, and not to mention, if anybody said the word Hottentot, they're probably gonna use it on each other. A couple of white people start using it on each other, and then it's meaningless.
Yeah.
They're just gonna throw it out there. Honestly, I don't even remember that turn from the movie. Granted, it has been a good, I would say, 35 years since I last watched Mary Poppins, honestly. But you're absolutely right. We what need this whole making it current day appropriate needs to stop because what it is boils down to, it's control. It's just about control. They just want to control what we read, what we watch, what we listen to, what we hear. It's not about imparting message, imparting classical moral themes because that's what Mary Poppins was about, passing on classical moral themes. They want to just they want to put out shit where it's okay that children, lop their junk off and take chemicals to alter their biology at that moment. That they're okay pushing that. They're okay. The BBC is literally okay race swapping historical figures. But some rando character in the movie says Hottentot. And suddenly, oh my God, more racisms. This movie is inappropriate for young children. People are in that moment, kids have just heard chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiroo. They're singing the song. They're not paying attention. First of all, not paying attention to the word Hottentot. They are wrapped up in the song. They're wrapped up in that moment. Because that's the coming to the climax of the movie there. That's the third act. They're not paying attention to the word Hottentot. No 5-year-old, 6-year-old is going to remember the word Hottentot. And I'm going to keep saying Hottentot just to piss off some rando SJW that might be watching this. Hottentot. Good Lord.
I thought it was a
Terrible.
drink.
I think it's a hot tot. I think it's a hot toddy. That's a hot
Yeah, I
toddy.
think that's why it triggered in my head. I was always like, hot tot. Oh, maybe it means like some sort of alcoholic beverage. I don't know.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and I hope they get raked across the coast with it. What the Dre? What devil is a hot tot? You're thinking of something else, Dre. A hot tot. That's something else.
Yeah, Dre asked the girls that how much
Hot
for the
tot.
hot and tot? You know what
How
I'm
much is that hot tot?
saying?
How much is that hot tot? That's what we're thinking. That's what we want to know. Yeah, this is ridiculous and this is stupid. The British system that labeled this. And I wouldn't be surprised if Disney Plus is stupid enough to do something like this, because I'm sure this is on Disney Plus. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you'd like to reach out to me, please email me at theranernerd@gmail.com for all channel business purposes. I am on Twitter now, mostly for promotion and sharing of videos, maybe a little shit stirring here and there, who knows, at @theranernerd. You can also find me at the Geeks and Gamers forums under @ROAS, and you can see me on Rumble and Odyssey under the Renaissance Nerd. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy.